Let's get some hands together, gang, for GideonAI.
Alright, in summary, Warlocks actually have a fairly active rotation when spec'd for melee combat. Whether they can achieve good DPS with it remains to be seen. For the rest of this video, I'm going to assume you know how to weave melee attacks in between instant spell casts. So if you don't, then you can check out my recent video which explains the mechanic. Also, I personally have two biases. One, I really want melee lock to be a thing. And two, I don't think melee lock is going to be a thing. I'm going to put those biases aside and just straighten out of the facts of what a Warlock can do in melee instead of just spamming Shadow Bolt. The instant cast melee friendly arsenal available to Warlocks consists of your curses, corruption when talented, siphon life, shadow burn, death coil, life tap and dark pact, the shadow bolt cast from your nightfall procs, and conflagrate. Curses, corruption, and siphon life are all duration based. Shadow burn and death coil have significant cooldowns. Life tap and dark pact are only necessary sometimes. The nightfall proc chance is only 4%, and conflagrate has a cooldown and it requires a 1.5 second hard cast of immolate before being able to cast it, which therefore blocks a melee swing. So Warlocks have nothing that can be spammed against a single target. Against multiple targets, you're actually pretty good to go, as you can spam your curses, corruption, and siphon life against all your enemies while you hack away at a single opponent in melee. But in 1v1s or boss fights, there's going to be some downtime. Now, Ret Paladins and Enhancement Shamans rely on just sitting there and hitting things too, and they can only cast their offensive spells once every 5 or 6 seconds, so in theory, that could be fine for Warlocks, depending on how the Firestone works. Much of the retribution and enhancement damage comes from their on-melee hit effects, from the Paladin seals and passive Shaman weapon spells, and the Warlock's only equivalent is the Firestone. And there's actually still a lot of unknowns about the Firestone, like what the Firestone proc rate actually is, whether it scales with plus spell damage even though it wasn't scaling with plus fire damage on the beta, whether the improved Firestone talent increases its proc rate, whether any other talents will increase its damage, whether Firestone procs will trigger the Blade of Eternal Darkness, and then whether the Blade of Eternal Darkness scales at all, and what its proc rate is, whether Firestone will overwrite your weapon's other imbues or enchants, and beyond those, there are still many other questions about other items. And if you're wondering why the Firestone is so crucial, it's because without it, regular melee Warlock is calculated to be very, very weak. Also, for rating purposes, Warlocks can achieve the coveted 8% hit chance through their cloak, ring, trinket, and neck slots alone. If they equip a main hand weapon with 1 or 2% hit chance, they can go all the way up to 10% hit chance if they want to. Anyway, for now, that's all I can think of, so please let me know if there's anything I missed. I'll be sure to return to this topic again in the future, whether to lift it up as the top DPS spec for Warlock kind everywhere, or to put it aside until Burning Crusade. Just remember, in all things, go crazy.